Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5, Round 17, here at Las Vegas for the very first time as the season is starting to draw to a close. We're in the final stretch of races. Three ovals make up the final four races, with the streets of Long Beach in the middle. And tonight we'll be going to the fast Las Vegas Oval. Through your starting grid, starting out in last is the 37 of Miles Rowe. Had some difficulty getting up to speed in qualifying. Not what he wanted when he's just above the cut line in the leader circle battle. As we go up to row 13, his teammate Tinkle McStinkle will be on the inside, and to his outside it's going to be the 77 of Stingray Rob. Not quite what he would have wanted, as he's an oval preference driver. Same with his teammate Glubler Lore, starting on the outside of row 12, and disappointing qualifying effort for the 99 of Brendan Hubbard, an oval specialist driver, so I would expect to see him try to claw his way through the field, but he's going to be starting deep in the field tonight. Row 11 on the outside, the last car is still technically eligible to win the championship, is Lindsey Brewer, and then to her inside, the 10 of Louis Foster, which you would think would be pretty disappointing, but everyone around him are the same guys in points, as we have a very shaken up starting grid, as your points leader Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be starting all the way back at 20th, and to his inside is his main rival in the championship, Nolan Siegel, starting in 19th. And then the row in front of them, also two other quick cars, Justin Allgaier starting on the outside, and Marcus Armstrong to the inside, so expect those groups of cars to try to claw their way to the front early on, and you don't want to be caught up in the big crash, and this is where that danger zone is as we move up to row 8. Benjamin Peterson on the outside, and then Dawa Tenzin having his best qualifying effort of the season in 15th. He'll be starting on the inside of row 8. Up to row 7, also two cars that qualified lower than we would have expected. Chet Jordan starting in 14th, and then Connor Zilic starting in 13th. As we move up to row 6 on the outside, the highest swindlers of the Immortals car in qualifying, Dorian Pin. Ovals have been the bright spot of the season for her, as the road courses have been quite a struggle. So she'll like to close out the season strong, and then Guy Gagne will be to her inside. The best of the Viking racing cars in qualifying. Row 5 on the outside, Devlin Di Francesco has qualified well on the ovals before, and then Francesco Draconi, who won the season opener at Michigan, a high-speed oval. Let's see if he can try to back that up today. Row 4 on the outside, best qualifying effort of the season for Lawless Allen. Team Eggs had an exceptional qualifying effort. All of them going to be starting on the outside, rows 2 to 4. And then to his inside is the number 7 of Carlos Huertas, another rookie in the season. Row 3 on the outside, Ryan Preece, who won the last oval at Pocono. So him starting in 6th could be a favorite, but Alessio Deletta starting in 5th, an oval specialist, and I'd expect him to put on quite the show tonight. Up to row 2, highest qualifying effort of the season for Ethan Martz in the 76, and best qualifying effort in a very long time for Mahavir Raghunathan, who'll be starting on the inside of row 2 in 3rd place. He actually had the same exact speed as 2nd place, but lost in the tiebreaker. Outside row 1 is going to be the number 18 of Robbie Lore's best effort in a very long time in qualifying. And then to his inside, very first pole for David Malukas, and the first pole for Masters of Motors since season 3 at Dover. So about 40 some races back, and ovals have been a preference for him, so I'd expect him to do great things tonight. So you look at your driver standings, and for the first time since round 8 in this championship at the Hockenheim, the gap is under one race, as Nolan Siegel won at Mexico City, brought the gap down to 46 points. Allgaier, Zilic, Foster, 91 to 113 points back. It's going to be hard for them to get the championship, but they're definitely not out of it. You look at the team standings, Viking Racing, they've been charging hard and gained a lot of points at Mexico City, but still pretty far out, over 2 races worth out, so they're going to need some exceptional showings the next few weeks. Banshees of Little Miami, the last team still technically eligible. So we are at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first time. track length of 1.5 miles, so 100 laps makes it 150 miles, and it will be the first night race of the season, as this race will take place September 6th at 7 p.m. The sun is just ending the setting. We get ready to go. Qualifying order going to scroll across the top once again. Let's take a look at your weather really quickly. 88 degrees, so it's pretty hot. No wind, and it's clear skies. No humidity at all out here in the desert. So tire wear gonna be a factor. Even though it's at night, tires are still gonna be taking a beating. So we have a very scrambled starting grid from what we would have expected. Pace car will pull off this time. 100 laps. This is a very quick track, high banking. Qualifying speed was 233 as pace car will pull off. And David Malukas will bring us to the green for the first time in his career at Las Vegas. Gonna have to see how they treat each other, as we already have a car pushed into the wall. Ryan Preece immediately at the start got pushed into the wall by Carlos Huertas, and he is already at the tail end of the field. Not at all how he wanted to start, but here comes Mahavir Raghunathan to the inside early on. David Malukas is going to lead the first lap though, but barely over that 54. So already trouble for cars as Preece has come to a stop, and that is going to be a yellow flag early on. Unfortunate. I think Malukas was the leader at the time of caution, but immediately the 64 not going to be able to defend his win at Pocono. Let's see what exactly happened at the start. Seven's just going to keep coming up. I don't know if he saw him or not, but just washes the 64 all the way up to the wall. This is not at all what Team Eggs wanted to see after such a good qualifying effort by the whole team. As the team will have the first yellow of the day, and 64 is already out of the race. So Malukas leads, followed by Robbie, Raghunathan, Deletta, and then Gagne up to 5th. He started back in 11th, so he is up 6 spots, which might be the biggest mover. Zilich is 13 to 8, so he's up 5 spots. Same with Ched Jordan right behind him. He moved up a good amount. Huertas, because of the caution, has dropped from 7th to 14th, so he lost a good amount of spots. Number 1, 10, and 14 did not move up too much, but the 33 of Armstrong did move up some spots. He's up 4 since the start of the race. As the yellow flag already out for the first time today. as lights on the pace car already out. Got a lot of laps still to get through, obviously, so we're only on lap 5. One car already out of the race. Wallace Allen, his teammate, dropped all the way down to 16th at the start, so lost 8 spots. Ethan Martz went from 4th to 7th, so the whole team did lose some spots. So the 64 being out is definitely going to be the biggest hit, as we're going to restart single file. Lucas still out in front. We still don't quite know who's going to be good and who won't be. Again, always be careful of the chance of the big one striking. Got a lot of cars going real fast, real tight together. And if one car at the front goes, we saw what happened at Michigan, it's going to take out a big chunk of the field. As Malukas is going to lead us into turn 1. Robbie Lohr going to follow in suit in 2nd. Raghunathan back in 3rd. Deletta in 4th. Already some shuffling at the back of the field as the number 18 is tracking down the 04, looking for some laps led this season. As the 18 has caught up to the back of him, but it's going to be a different thing trying to pass. Still single file, still looking for a groove. He's going to look low. Man, at the line that was pretty close that time, as the 18 is now going to be your leader. And the 54 of Raghunathan going to follow in suit. Connor Zilich already up to 5th, as you see that gray car on the outside line battling with the red car. His teammate Guy Gagné. Viking Racing already charging forward, about to gobble up the 54 of Raghunathan here. Meanwhile, Armstrong has already cracked into the top 10. Chet Jordan up to 7th. So he's still climbing. Here comes the 18 back on the 04 of Malukas once again. He's going to go to the inside. Malukas going to try and hang strong on the outside. Going to be a drag race to the line here. And I think Robbie's just barely going to lead that lap. But man, look at the number 9. Whoa, it's getting close. The number 9 of Connor Zilich is already on the scene. And he's not going to waste any time trying to get to the front here. Robbie's going to lead at the line just barely once again, but here comes Connor Zilich to the lead of this race. Dorian Pinn also up here, representative for Swindlers of the Immortals, Marcus Armstrong coming forward. Nolan Siegel second in the championship, not moving as well as his teammates, but right now he's side by side with Van Gisbergen, his championship rival. That just seemed to have had the better run off the turn. Meanwhile, Chet Jordan is in the lead. Getting real packed up here at the front. David Malukas has dropped all the way back to 11th. They're looking at 2 wide. Here comes Dorian Pinn around the outside. Swindlers of the Immortals on their longest losing streak of the season, which isn't actually that much, as here comes Guy Gagné all the way to the bottom with Armstrong right behind. Chet Jordan's going to have the better run off the turn. But man, is this some incredible racing early on here. You can already see some big gaps in the packs. Chet Jordan going to just barely lead that lap over Guy Gagné. Very close, but fairly clean. Here comes Armstrong to the lead. Billy Men Racing at the front here. Connor Zilich in 3rd, now up into 2nd as he's going to split the middle. Three wide back there. Let's go on board with Ched Jordan deep in the field here. Let's see what he's seeing. Whoa, big checkup. Meanwhile, Malukas has gotten back to the front. Here's Armstrong going to the inside. Zilich all the way on the bottom here. Look at the 18 of Robbie Lore going all the way onto the apron. Apron is allowed and legal tonight, as Justin Allgaier's found his way up to second. He's been looking good on the ovals and is trying to show it once again, as this field really has separated into two packs. We got the top 11 in the first group, and then 12th all the way to 26th in the second group. As Francesco Draconi trying to cut forward. Looking at a good run right now. Gunathan and Pin just a little bit off the back here. Gonna try and not lose this front group. But Armstrong looks to be fairly in control here. Lucas is still right there, looming in the background, and here he's going to come to the inside here. But it just seems that 33 is able to hang on a lot more than anyone else. Everyone else I've seen cycle to the back to the front, except for the 33. Armstrong has 3 wins, all of which on ovals, as Gagne looks to the inside. He's trying to get there, but Malukas is going to come up and cover Armstrong. So he's going to lead another lap here. Bonus points for leading laps. Malukas really needs some points for that leader circle battle. Right now, his main rival in that, Miles Rowe, all the way back in 19th, with the championship leaders Siegel and Van Gisbergen not moving forward all too much. Pin's now cycling back to the front. Chet Jordan way up high on the front stretch here. And Pin's going to rocket out to the front. But how long will it last, as Malukas is already going back to the inside. Beautiful crossover move there. The top 5 trying to break away. Looked like they were starting to form a little bit of momentum there. Wasn't able to get it going, as Pin gonna cycle to the back of the group. Gagne right in the middle, Jordan all the way up high. That's a risky area that you don't want to mess with. Also of note, the more you lead, the more fuel you burn. We don't quite know what the number is here. If I had to guess, I think it's just going to be a one-stop. You might see a second near the end of the race if they want to pit for tires, as Zilich really down to the white line, trying to get underneath Malukas. So Armstrong's starting to go back just a little. This is still a hot track. And tires are still going to get used up. Zilich and Armstrong now top 2. Tandeming. Brennan Hubbard now leads the second group in his new painted number 99, sponsored by Logitech, and he's got teammate Nolan Siegel right behind, peeking to the inside. That was really close. 2 Viking cars and 2 Swindlers cars lead this group, with Benjamin Peterson now showing up in the middle. Only 2 Viking racing cars up here in the front group. They're on a winning streak, won 2 straight. Allgaier nearly washes up into Malukas back there. Malukas has 3 straight DNFs. He has a lot of potential here. But man, hugging that white line can be quite a gamble. No pun intended here in Las Vegas. But he lost a lot of momentum all the way down there. That second pack is starting to split up. Meanwhile, this group is starting to lose a couple guys off the back. You see Malukas back here in 8th. Deletta, Draconi, and Ragunathan lagging behind just a little. Very reminiscent of the Auto Club race at the end of last season. Tight but fairly clean. Right now, I believe Armstrong has the... No, I think it's actually Dorian Pinn with the best lap, 22.55. Right now sitting in 3rd, as Zilich gonna look to the inside of Armstrong. Already closing in on 1/3 distance. This could be a very quick race if everyone behaves. Those cars I said were lagging off the back have caught back up. Alessio Deletta now up into 4th. Coney and Ragunathan hanging on. But it really seems the 9, 33, 90, and 43 are the best at staying at the front. Meanwhile, back here you've got Martz, Foster, Peterson, Van Gisbergen, Hubbard, and Siegel in the second group that have broken away, led by Lindsay Brewer, kinda. They haven't really formed up too much. Huertas, I think, is struggling with some damage from the opening lap incident. As now we're starting to see a schism in this front group as the top 5 really starting to break away. Pin, Zilich, Armstrong, Gagne, and Allgaier. Chet Jordan and Alessio Deletta leading the group, trying to catch back up. Armstrong dropped behind just a little. That may help give them the draft to catch back up, as look at that run that the 33 has around the inside. 5th to 3rd, just like that, as the Swindlers teammates get rough, and there goes the number 90. And Malukas is in it, Draconi is in it, and that is the big one. Van Gisbergen gonna sneak by. Chet Jordan, I don't know if he got through, but that one was ugly. I was focused on the Swindlers teammates, but it looked like I should have been focused on the Viking Racing teammates, as it seems Gagne is just going to wash up, tap the end of the number 9, and he's into the wall. Going to cut back. Jordan hits him first. Malukas, Deletta, I think the 18, no, that would have been the 54 possibly that hit. I think he got through. But Draconi out of the race. Chet Jordan did get some damage. He came down pit road. Malukas, that is a very tough break. Let's go on board with number 49 here. Now the 24, let's see the extent of the damage. You could hear it. Man, the 04, horrible luck. As we've got some split pit strategy. Allgaier stays out. Peterson, Rowe, McStinkle, Glubler have all come in. I think it's going to be tough for them to get to the end, but some better tires could help you in the long run. Jet Jordan already has gone a lap down. Actually, no, I think he's a lap down. Tough break for some of those guys, Gagne and Jordan, Malukas, Triconi, all of which look to have good cars. But it is all for naught. So, yeah, I believe the 24, they're going to try and send them back out. But, yeah, day done. Besides Malukas, all the cars that have crashed out are about 7th to 13th, 7th to 12th in points. So right around that fringe of the top 10. But man, that is horrible luck for Malukas. Exactly what Miles Rowe wanted to see. Down a Viking racing car, a Team Eggs car, a Banshees car, a Masters and Motors car, and kind of a Silly Men racing car. We're about to go back green. Allgaier and Pin lead the way. Let's see how the field will react on this restart. As Allgaier's going to get the jump and lead us back to green. Lap 39, just a little over a third way distance. Already some cars making moves back here. Van Gisbergen around the outside of Huertas. Pin already trying to track down her teammate, looking to the inside here. And that is going to allow Armstrong through on the inside. And he's nearly able to jump up to first in just one lap of the restart. That may be crucial to know come the end of this race. The top four immediately broke away from everyone else. Alessio Deleta's back here in fifth. 1.5 seconds behind Dorian Pin. So the top four are just gone, and it's 4 of the 5 cars that I mentioned earlier on just looking much better. Look like they're tandem drafting. Talladega 2011 style. Robbie leading the second group. They're all also starting to form a little bit of a gap after 13th of Lindsey Brewer. So this group has both Nolan Siegel and Shane Van Gisbergen. That's going to be interesting to watch right now. But Siegel has the upper hand. That'd be about 8 points gained where they run currently. Now about 10 points. Armstrong and Zilich side by side for the lead. Allgaier in second. Ooh. Two Swindler's cars now out in front. So entering turn 1 seeming to be an issue today. .22 cars still in the running. Now Van Gisbergen leads the second group with Martz, Foster, and Siegel right behind him. Right now this front group, out of laps led, Pin has led 6, Armstrong has led 11, Allgaier has led 4, and Zilich has led 4. Lucas led 16, so that was the most at the time. No longer. Jet Jordan also led a few. He led 3. Right now, Pin really doing the majority of the leading, but this second group is closing in 1.5 seconds back. It was 1.9 earlier. Right now, Siegel leads Van Gisbergen. Armstrong has gone back to the lead here. Coming up on halfway, Armstrong with tough turn 1 and 2, which the more he falls behind here, the better it is for these guys to get a draft potentially. Foster now leads. They're 1.5 seconds back, so still closing. Allgaier now to the lead. All 4 Swindlers cars in the top 10. Not what Viking Racing would like to see, but they have Zilich in 4th, and now Hubbard up to 6th. Siegel's not far back either. Allgaier, your leader, currently at 220 miles per hour. Almost hitting 250. See how this draft is going to work. But that second group has definitely caught up. Hit 250 going down the straightaway for Zilich. Is Armstrong going to go back to the lead? And the second group is absolutely in play now as Hubbard is on the back of Allgaier. That Jordan's going to leave the pits. The leaders, I believe, will be able to get by him before. As yes, they will be. But not a problem for the leaders there. We don't know how on pace that 24 is going to be. Did kind of T-bone a car at full speed. As look at this pack. This is the top 8. Ethan Mart's first car not in it. But the top 8 has 4 Swindlers cars, 3 Viking racing cars, and 1 Silly Men racing car. Shows you who the class of the field really is. Pin's really been leading a lot of laps here. As Marcus Armstrong going to be the first car to hit pit lane at lap 56, so made it a little over halfway. Gonna have to see when do everyone else come in. So those guys that pit under the last yellow, they're looking at about lap 80-ish, maybe 90. But it's going to be tough for them to make it, as Zilich now going to come in. Armstrong will go down a lap here. That's important to note. Carlos Huertas joins the pit road club. He's a lot further back from Zilich. But Armstrong's going to get up to speed and just 1 lap down. He doesn't want any yellows to come out now. Pin going to come in. Siegel and Van Gisbergen, so your 2 championship protagonists going to come in. Foster now leads the way over Hubbard, and Allgaier, Brewer, Deletta. As the 87 nearly loses it. That car was all over the place. As the 33 is up to speed, we're going to have to see where he comes out in terms of the number 9. Foster's in now. Hubbard's going to take the lead. So he's going to come out right with the number 9. So Hubbard's still out here, and he will come in now. Brewer will come in. Peterson, he's going to stay out, so he's going to take the lead here. Tenzin, Rowe, Robb, McStinkle, Glubler. I don't know who the first car is that wouldn't have pit. Peterson is the first car that pit already. Rowe, McStinkle, and Glubler are the other 3. So those guys are going to go a long way, but surely not all the way to the end. As this pack's starting to assemble, here comes Brendan Hubbard out of pit lane. But the worst thing that could happen to these guys is a yellow flag comes out. Don't want to get stuck a lap down. Number 19 came out well ahead of the number 1. He's all the way back here. He had a rough pit stop and has fallen way back. Not what he needed at all. As Zilich now, quote-unquote, leads. The actual leader is Peterson, 3 seconds up on Rowe. Then it's McStinkle and Glubler, but these guys already pit as Alessio Deletta has had issues. Is this going to cause a yellow? This might, as he was back on pit lane, which that is going to be a yellow. Pit lane incidents count as yellow flags, and that is going to be one right there. That is not what the leaders wanted to see. Alessio Deletta hooked backwards in pit lane. So we have a bunch of cars stuck a lap down. Armstrong has the lucky dog, so he's going to be affected significantly less. Now, they aren't completely toast. These guys likely going to pit here, but if any of them stay out, then we've got an interesting ending to the race coming up. But these guys will come in, everyone else will get the wave around besides Armstrong. Armstrong's the only one that gets the free pit if he wants it, and they'll just line up behind these 4. So it's not all is lost. As the top 4 all gonna come in, Armstrong is now gonna be the lucky dog, essentially, so he's gonna be able to go around, but everyone will go around here. The 87 of Alessio Deletta back on pit road, wasn't too big of a hit. You can see him right there behind his teammate Benjamin Peterson. That will be the end to all of their days. Then all of these guys from Foster all the way down to Lawless Allen here at the end will get the wave around. Good gamble by the leaders. Leaders as in Benjamin Peterson for coming in last time. It paid off. Now they're going to cycle all the way up to the front. We don't know how long they're going to last, but they're going to be at the front with fresh tires. So we're going to have to see how much they can hang. As the leaders all getting the wave around by the pace car. Look at that. A lot of cars going around as Peterson will now be up front. Well over halfway home. Lap 67, so we are at 2/3 distance. So 1/3 left in this race. "21 cars remain in the true race. Chad Jordan's out there, but he is many, many laps down. He's just going to try and pick off as many results as he, or as many positions as he can if there are incidents. As Benjamin Peterson, now your leader, Miles Rowe in second, Glubler in third. He's not the third car there, that's Chad Jordan, but he is 17 laps down. As Benjamin Peterson will bring us back to green. Miles Rowe back there in second, Glubler in third, McStinkle in fourth. Gonna have to see where these guys start coming forward. You can already see Dorian Pinn looking to the inside of Brennan Hubbard, and Armstrong already making the move on the 53. McStinkle has nothing for him. Look at him rocket around the 00 now. Peterson, your leader, Miles Rowe in second. They've got about 8/10 to Armstrong, but Armstrong's going to close in fast. Miles Rowe looking for the lead for a bonus point. That would help him out significantly. Potentially. But he's not going to get it. Peterson going to stay out ahead, and Armstrong is now going to be right with them, and they have 1.5 seconds to the group behind, led by Connor Zilich. Meanwhile, the 87 of Alessio Deletta is back out on track. Any sort of reset from a car triggers a yellow, a manual yellow, but that's in our race control brain, I guess. So right now, Armstrong in a very good position because it's very clear that he's faster than both Rowe and Peterson. But that field is going to be coming in fast. Zilich back by 1.6. But right now, they're not gaining the time that they would have liked, but Miles Rowe dropping back is going to help them get a draft. Rowe just not as quick and not able to hang on up here as 3 wide back there. Look at that. Shane Van Gisbergen, points leader right in the middle of it. Championship rivals Nolan Siegel a little bit out ahead of it as Zilich is closing in on the leaders. Same with Allgaier. Chet Jordan keeping solid pace. Armstrong now leads by 1/2 second, which is one of the biggest legitimate leads that we've seen. But he's not going to have anyone to draft with, so they're going to catch him quite easily. Peterson's the first car to get away from that group. Four tenths, 3/10, and he is dragging Allgaier right with him. As here comes Benjamin Peterson back to the inside. Still some cars pretty far back, 2 seconds The next big group with Dorian Pinn, Brennan Hubbard, Robbie Lohr, and Shane Van Gisbergen. Nolan Siegel's also back here. So Allgaier, Peterson, Armstrong, Zilich are your top four. Miles Rowe is off just a little bit down here in fifth. Has 25 laps to go now shown on the times tower. Gonna have to see who prevails from this group, if any. Right now, these are the guys that look most able to win. Could a Swindler's car go back to victory lane as Zilich going to try and go around the high side here as they're going to go into turn one. Armstrong looking for back-to-back podiums to get some good momentum finally back on his side as Miles Rowe is closed back in, potentially making it a 5-car duel. But I don't think he has true raw pace. That 29 is hanging on second pretty solidly, but you can see at times when his car just looks tighter than everyone else's, as here comes Armstrong to the inside. Lindsey Brewer all over the place in the second group back there. Armstrong back out in front with Zilich behind. Armstrong right behind him, his teammate Chet Jordan many laps down. Siegel has once again kind of gotten away from the group behind, but that's not going to last as Van Gisbergen is going to be the one to reel him in. 2.5 seconds back. I think this could be your final group. No one else can move forward. Right now, Armstrong and Peterson leading the way. Peterson only has one win on his resume, goes back to Spa Season 3, has never won on an oval. Allgaier has won on an oval, and he's also won at Spa, as he's going to lead that lap. But here comes Connor Zilich behind. Zilich all the way on the bottom. He's going to come up and cover the 14, forcing Allgaier to go the long way around. Aggressive driving from the number 9 of Connor Zilich, but may pay off. Armstrong through the middle, and he's going to go all the way down low now, giving Zilich very little room. That was very close, but these two guys really want to get some wins here. Allgaier and Zilich, if either of them win, they could be back in this championship battle. Armstrong's a little bit far out, but it's still a possibility. "17 laps to go, going to be coming to 16 this time." Peterson now seemingly struggling a lot, and he's dropping this group back. Allgaier is a little bit back now, as Zilich and Armstrong pull out ahead. But Peterson coming right back. 2.5 seconds to the group behind. They're not going to be a factor. Peterson looking low. Just hasn't seemed he's been able to hold his line and carry the momentum as well as some of the others. But right now it doesn't matter, as he is leading, as Armstrong going to peak low. Going to try and force Peterson high. He's going to clear him coming off turn 4. 14 to go. Laps are ticking down. Time's running out to try to stay up here at the front. Allgaier and Zilich behind the 24, acting as a barrier. Miles Rowe doesn't seem to be much of a factor, running in 5th. The top 5 would be a dream result for that team, though. Armstrong going to try and look high. More momentum off the turn. Is he going to look low going into turn 3? Yes, he will. Chet Jordan gives him enough space. And that is some teamwork right there as Armstrong going to go back to the lead. Allgaier trying to come forward. He's going to be on the inside of the 24. Chet Jordan really acting as a wingman for this 33 as Zilich going to go to the inside of the 14. He's not going to be able to pick him off. And this group up here could disintegrate if a yellow flag comes out as Allgaier all over the place. Man, that was really sketchy as the top two pull away half a second up the road. I don't think that's going to stick as Peterson's going to be in the draft. Alessio Deletta up the road. Could he be a factor? We're coming to 9 to go this time. Alessio Deletta would try to help Benjamin Peterson the best he could. Already has basically helped him out once today. Armstrong got to be careful there as Zilich going to go back to the front. Peterson and Rowe getting dropped just a little, but they're going to close back in. Allgaier looking for a middle lane. That could be what helps. Chet Jordan going to push him high. Still closing in on that 87. He is not far up the road and going much slower. Jordan going to give Armstrong the inside. As here comes Armstrong going into turn 1. Bold move, but makes it look easy. The 4-horse race. Peterson, the underdog right now. Allgaier way up high, coming to 6 to go. Time running out, Peterson to the inside. That would be a huge upset win if he could get it done. Only one win for Banshees of Little Miami this season came for Francesco Draconi back at Michigan. We know this team is good on the ovals. It's showing again here tonight as Armstrong's going to go back to the front. He's going to have Allgaier right behind. As here they come to the 87. Will he be a huge factor in deciding this? I think they're going to get him. Probably, I'd say coming off turn 2. Where's he going to go? Who's he going to help? Who's he going to hurt? As Armstrong nearly goes around, Allgaier going to get to the inside of the 87 quite easily. You can't have any bloopers now as time is running out. Zilich going to go by. Armstrong and Peterson, 6/10 back. Time running out for them. Jordan not up here, but we do have another lapped car as a factor. It's the 87 of Alessio Deletta. Zilich with the momentum off the turn. He's going to be clear coming to 2 laps to go. Deletta's going to go low and he's going to block off the 14. Here comes Armstrong. Allgaier's going to be all the way on the inside. Armstrong going to be trying to look low to the number 9. Who's going to get it done? Armstrong going to go low. White flag is out. Who's going to get it done? Armstrong all the way to the bottom, but did he go too early? Connor Zilich, he's going to go to the inside. Does Allgaier have anything? There's not much room for the 14 to go. The number 9 is going to surge out in front and coming to the checkered flag. It's going to be side by side. It's going to be Zilich. Photo finish at the line. Connor Zilich going to take first place Allgaier gonna lose out in second, Armstrong in third. Peterson gonna take fourth, and Miles Rowe a shock top five for that team. Importantly, Siegel gonna beat out Van Gisbergen 7th versus 10th that time. What a race. That was quite a finish. 16 thousandths. That might be the closest margin in the Open Wheel Offline League history. So, your final results, Connor Zilic gonna come from 13th to 1st to win by just a hair's width. Allgaier gonna finish in second, nearly had it, but wasn't quite able to get the momentum off the turn. Armstrong in third. Strong performance from him today, gonna make it back-to-back podiums. Benjamin Peterson, quite lucky, gonna finish in fourth. Miles Rowe gonna get a top five for the team in fifth place. That's exactly what he needed. Going back to sixth is Brendan Hubbard, strong performance. Nolan Siegel gonna get some points. He's gonna finish in seventh. Lindsey Brewer in eighth. Louis Foster ninth. Just ahead of teammate Shane Van Gisbergen in 10th, going to be losing out to some points from Siegel. Luckily for him, it isn't too much, but 6 points is 6 points. And that's going to bring the gap down to 40. Dorian Pin in 11th, Robbie Lord 12th, Lawless Allen 13th, DeFrancesco 14th, Martz 15th, Glubler 16th, Huertas 17th, Ragunathan going to drop a lot. He's going to go down to 18th, just ahead of teammate Dawa Tenzin in 19th. McStinkle will take 20th, Stingray Rob 21st, and then your cars that ran into troubles tonight. Alessio Deletta gonna finish 22nd, Chet Jordan 23rd, Guy Gagne 24th, Triconi 25th, Malukas unfortunately 26th, and then Ryan Priest will round out the field in 27th with not a single completed lap, unfortunate for him. But that is it here at Las Vegas. What a race it was. But we're going to stay out in the desert as the next race we go to Phoenix. Going to shrink the track down to 1 miles. Going to be a bit slower, but we came here in season 2 and it was quite a dogfight and a close finish. So it's going to be quite exciting. Qualifying will be on Friday. Race might be Friday evening, maybe Sunday. Who knows? We're going to have to see. But that is it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.